No, get away from my door. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to We Have Something to Say. Please forgive our lateness. That's my fault. I just came back from a neighborhood cleanup. Um, and so cleaning up some trash. I'm a little dirty. Then I gotta leave here and go to a community meeting. Supposedly a community meeting amongst men. I don't know if they want me there. Consider how much shit I talk. Uh,
I'm about to say that you're a manage.
yeah. Yeah, but I'm a man and folks get mad at the shit I say. It's a lot to talk about. The thing that hits me the most, when I first wake up this morning, I was on Instagram watching this clip of this pastor, Wilson something, of this Christian Nationalist Church. Him and his senior ministers on there talking about they don't think women should have the right to vote. Voting should be a household and it's all a man job. These white men are going fucking crazy. And I'm gonna say that we need to start calling a spade and stop being so goddamn scared that something's gonna happen to. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. And the kicker is Pete Hesketh reposted his video, the man's video, saying that shit today to the DOD webs, to his X account. When you have a guy that's sympathetic, who's over the DOD, even though he's not ultimately in control, because the president is, but he gets up there and he says stuff, and this guy has supposedly 100 churches, which I tell people, man, all they're really doing is building a Christian army that I don't want no fucking parts of. Zero. I don't want them in my community. I don't want them around my women. I don't want them around my kids. And at some point, we better start talking about this shit, because we ain't even in the conversation for this shit. We not in the conversation for AI and all these warnings we getting. People say, hey, that's not our problem. And man, you know what? I put it like this. There's some things that you just cannot ignore. So one of the examples I always use is if somebody told you last night that you got 24 hours to save all the trees in the world, or you're going to die, what would be your main priority? Saving the trees. Because without the trees and the plants, you can't breathe. It would be the topmost priority. And at some point, we need to stop as a community, start finding what common ground we have to say we got to protect our community. Because once they try to take the rights of women to vote, them white boys coming for the rights of black people. Anybody don't think that's not true, you got your head stuck in the sand. And you are part of the fucking problem. Be damned if we do, damned if we don't start discussing stuff. We don't start discussing what we're going to do to have to defend ourselves.
But hold on, this is the thing though. Trying to take the rights of women to vote. If it wasn't for white women, Trump wouldn't be in office.
Exactly.
So why would he take their vote? Because that's the reason that's really the only reason he's in office. Because white men didn't make up enough, wouldn't have given him enough votes. It was white women that took him over the top.
I agree with you. I don't think I've always said that I thought Trump was an equal opportunity opportunist. I've always believed that. I never thought Trump was some raging racist that'd go down south and lynch black people. And I didn't think Trump was our best friend. I always just thought he was somebody in the middle that took the opportunity to say, shh, better for me to be on top than anybody else. And I damn sure don't want to go to jail. But to have your defense secretary, and some of this stuff is like, I agree, there's distractions. But when are you able to separate the distractions from real policy positions with the way they're acting? Because Russell Vogt is not a distraction. Russell Vogt has policy positions. And this strain of Christian nationalism with these white boys who already control 98% of the resources in the country, they not going to stop until somebody punched them in the face. It just bullies. Trump has shown, and the people below him, and again, I don't necessarily say Trump. Trump knows at the end of the day, it's my decision at the end of the day. And so does his chief of staff. At the end of the day, it's my decision, which is why he goes with some things and he don't go with other things. But people already know, except for our community's not willing to do it, know that the way to get to Trump, the way to move Trump is to appeal to his ego. But for him to put that on his X account is a dangerous thing. It means they are getting way more emboldened So now what they're trying to do is scare the shit out of other people. They're trying to scare people into inaction. Don't get in the streets, you might get arrested. You're going to get arrested anyway. They're going to do what they do anyway. Hell, they went after Joe Rogan, and I consider Joe Rogan complicit in helping them get elected. But they went after Joe Rogan last week.
That was a short-lived thing.
Yeah, that was a short, very much.
Yeah, they're not gonna go after him for real. They may say some shit, just like they may say some shit about Musk. You notice they ain't said nothing about Musk in the last month and a half.
I noticed they haven't said anything about Musk, and I've said this since the Musk thing started. I said that somebody was going to pick up the phone and call Musk, and they're going to say two things. You keep talking shit. Number one, we got all the security apparatus. We got all the killers in every department. Number two, if you keep talking stuff, we're going to start taking your contracts. And you've seen that we will cancel people's contracts. And at some point, Musk was going to have to back down because it's just the Putin playbook. And I told you it's this book called From Russia with Love, talking about Putin. And what Putin did was Putin gave ultimatums, talking about Xi. Xi did the same thing to Jack Ma last year. Yeah, you might be the richest person in China. That at the end of the day, I control all the security assets. I control all the hitters and the quitters and the assassins. And you're going to sit your ass down for 6 months, and Jack Ma disappeared. Pete Hegseth got rid of every woman that had a department. Exactly. 9% were white. Where's the outrage? Man, Mr. McMillan, I'm no longer looking for outrage for other people. I can only do what I can do to try to protect the community, the sub-community that I'm a part of. I don't know what else to tell you about what they are. And I get what you're saying, that people gonna have to feel the pain. I'm gonna fight off feeling the pain for as long as I can. Because I agree with you, but I don't want to feel the pain. Anyway, that's where I'm starting at. Go ahead, Mr. Lively.
Well, like I said, this white nationalist.
You had all that damn time to think, and you pausing. What the hell? That is so unlike you.
Because I can. I'm measuring.
We can't hear you now. You can't hear you. Can't hear you. We can't even.
Nothing I can do about that.
We can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I ain't doing nothing. My stuff is
in mic.
Can you hear me now?
Nope. I still can't hear you.
Because I ain't saying nothing.
Not a word. You can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Well, it's something on your end. It ain't on my end. He acting like he high this morning.
I can't fix your mic.
My mic is on. I can hear me.
On the floor above the first floor when he meets a Trump official. I believe that. At the end of the day, Musk know that he don't control an army with 1 million men in it. Musk knows that Trump can arbitrarily call up there and tell Pete Hegseth and them generals right now who just trying to survive for their lives to cancel all them Starlink contracts. Musk knows that the damn United States Air Force just put in an order for like 600 million cyber trucks. So it's in his best interest to shut the hell up and to tone down that rhetoric. It's in his best interest. Hey, go out and come back in because I can't hear you. And I really want to hear you. I can't. You have no sound.
What about now?
Hold on for a second. Hold on 1 second. Oh, say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
All right.
So it wasn't you, it was mine. My mic went dead. My speaker went dead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kenneth.
What I was gonna say is the guys who the white nationalists that are out there now emboldened and trying to do everything, that's gonna end soon. especially if they try to take the vote from women. Because I said if it weren't for white women, he wouldn't be in office. Trump wouldn't have won the first time or the second time. They're the ones who emboldened him, that put him over the top. There's not enough white men to do that. Not enough people of color who voted for him to put him over the top. So it was white women that did it. That would be stupidity in and of itself, and it would pretty much end the Republican Party, because they wouldn't have anybody to vote for. They wouldn't have anybody to vote for, because usually when white women are the difference when it comes to putting Republicans into office. Also, too, this whole thing. The other part of it is, the next time in the next presidential election, 2028. 2028. There's going to be unless Trump suspends the Constitution and adds another that he's not leaving office, no Republican is going to win in 2028. They're not going to win, especially somebody who is a big time supporter of Trump, who's all in on the MAGA and all that. There's going to be a huge backlash. Those people who the MAGA supporters, they follow Trump. They don't follow people who follow Trump. They follow him. They in love with him. There's a guy that went to high school with us. And I posted something on my page about about how black unemployment has skyrocketed under both Trump administrations, but especially in this one, because in case y'all didn't know, I didn't say majority, a lot of federal workers that lost their job when Trump started slashing jobs, a lot of them were black women. And of course, a lot of them were heads of household. So when you have women who are heads of household who lose their job, the economy's going, of course, that takes a lot of money out of the pockets. And I know at least one sister who went to school with us too, I guess she kind of retired. So, but I don't know if she wanted to retire. Let's just say that. Let's just go with the thing that she retired, but she probably didn't want to. But that's a loss of income. That's a loss of seniority. And I think you may have pointed this out, but I've heard other people say, and the black women, which is it's kind of funny, but it's true. Black women are the mothers of a lot of us in terms of when we get jobs. It's usually the black women who embrace us first and show us what's going on, help us out, tell us how things run in the office or whatever. They're usually the ones who do that because I guess it's in our DNA or their DNA for them to mother everybody. Now, y'all may disagree with me on that, but I in my lifetime, in my working, it was always a lot of times it was always a black woman who take me under her wing and show me stuff. Okay, this is how they say this is what really goes on, stuff like that. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's anybody else's experiences, but I know people who said that. Well, I know that's been my life story. And in a lot of these cases, in my opinion, black women were the glue that held a lot of these agencies together. Now they're out of their jobs and they're heads of household. That's causing a strain, period, on the black family. So I posted a video about that, how black unemployment jumped to 7% or whatever, almost double of what it was when during the Biden administration and all of that. And the guy that went to school with us came on a MAGA supporter, came on there and was like, shut up and stop lying. Now, my thing is, it was a video from, I can't think of his name, but it was a video from a black guy. He was a political strategist and all that. And he does these things from different time to time, talking about what's going on. And he had verifiable facts. It's not something that he made up. These are Department of Labor statistics. Their own statistics now talking about this, because the Department of Labor, when they do jobs reports and all that, they break things down by race, by gender, and all that stuff. So he's going by the information from the Department of Labor, the official word. But this guy's talking about stop lying. And I'm like, why do you think it's lying?
Fuck Scott.
See, I ain't saying that. I wasn't trying to say
I don't
nobody.
give a damn. I know you weren't. Tell him I said it.
Well, he might be listening, so
Good.
just so he can say something negative about what we're talking about. But as I said, this type of that's what's affecting us. That's an immediate problem for us. How do we get these 300,000 black women, or however many thousand black women, working again? How do we do that? Where do they go? Now, they do have if you've been working, let's say, for the federal government doing certain things for 20 something years, 20 years, 15 years, and all that, your first job out of college, or your first job once you get out of high school, first, significant job you get out of high school, and you make a nice little salary and all that, able to live a middle class lifestyle and all of that stuff, and all of a sudden, in one swoop, it's gone. What do you do? That is you like to use existential threat. That is an immediate threat to our future, an immediate threat. Now, some of those jobs can be, they can move into the private sector. Others, they can move into education, which let's say this, I do recommend that. If you have a degree, be a teacher. You may not like, some people tell me, man, I can't do that. I can't deal with the kids. It's not. Let's say this. Teaching is not hard. There's a lot of bullshit associated with teaching, but the teaching part is not hard. And if you're the type of person that has control over you just don't let anybody run over you, you won't have a problem teaching. You really won't. And we need teachers. They need teachers. Bad. That do mean bad. There's always a shortage of teachers. You may have to take a pay cut, but a pay cut is better than no cut. That's better than nothing. That's my philosophy on that. But we still have to find. I say all that to say this. We've got an immediate threat to our community. To the well-being of our community, to the well-being of our families. And we've got to come up with more creative ways to get things right here in the States, in this country. You said this before, and some other people have said this, want the Democrats fighting back and all of that. And, as I've said, it's kind of hard when you don't have the votes. You don't have enough people in Congress. You don't have enough people in this. They can, for the most part, they can ram anything they want through, whether it's legal or not. They're doing that. And if you go like in Texas, where they're trying to do the redistricting, gerrymandering the congressional districts there, they're trying to give them a supermajority, pretty much a supermajority. If they give them those 5 extra seats, that's almost a supermajority. So, and what are the Democrats in Texas doing? They're leaving the state, which is kind of, and you got Republicans complaining, well, they're giving up on their job. They're not doing their job. Well, what's his name? The Speaker of the House, he ended the session early to avoid voting about releasing the Epstein files. So what's the difference between the two? And when you point out the hypocrisy coming from Republican side about, okay, well, Johnson let the Congress go into the session with Congress early, 2 weeks early, so to avoid a vote. What's the difference between that, what he did, and what the Democrats are doing, and Democrats in Texas are doing? And what's his name? Abbott said, well, I'm gonna keep calling special sessions. Well, I guess they're gonna keep not showing up. because you can't. He wants to call special sessions just so they can vote on this one particular thing. Now, I'll say this: inevitably, it's going to happen. But by the time that happens in Texas, there also could be serious gerrymandering on the Democratic side from a whole bunch of Democratic states. That can happen. That can happen. And the thing is, the courts can stop Texas from doing it because they're losing the voting power of Black and Latino people in Texas in those districts. When the Democrats do it, it's not going to be along racial lines. It won't be over racial lines because the most of the Republican Party, the Republican areas in California, New York, I think they're talking about Oregon, Illinois, and all that. Those are predominantly white areas. So the gerrymandering won't be along based on race. It just be on political lines, which is legitimate. You can do that. As far as I know, you can do that. You just can't do it based on racial lines, which is what Texas is trying to do. You won't be diluting anybody's vote along racial lines. You can do it along political lines, but you can't do it over racial lines. That's a violation of the Civil Rights Act. But your turn, sir. Your response to my response.
I'm just going.
All this time you got nothing to say?
You said a lot. I've said on this show numerous number of times, the first and foremost responsibility of Black men is to protect Black women and protect Black children. And one of the things that's been taken from Black men from white supremacy is this feeling that you don't protect the people who give life to your community. And we're hesitant to say it because we don't want to be put in jail. We don't want to be beaten. We don't want all the smoke that comes with saying we're not going to allow you to do this. You know, there's a price to be paid for going after Black women, and Black women have said it numerous numbers of times and numerous number of polls. And if you just talk to Black women, they don't feel protected by Black men. And you and I have had vehement disagreements about what should have been done starting in January. Me and Marion have had this conversation numerous number of times. We'll call each other during the middle of the week about what's it going to take for people to get mad enough to say, this is all I got. And if I let this go, then I might as well just go back into slavery. And what you're seeing right now is people having, they're getting so emboldened because there hasn't been any pushback from Black men. I'm gonna give two examples of that. And one, you gave one. The highest percentage of federal workers who have been fired with Black women. The highest percentage. It wasn't a surprise to me because I thought that he was gonna go after the people who did. The highest numbers of people who didn't vote for him, which is Black women at 92%. I've seen people say, I'm gonna sip my tea, I'm staying out of it as our rights have been taken away. You and I have been going back and forth about this since the election. He's like, Leonard, what can we do? And I've said to you, the only thing you can do is go back in history and say, what did they do when they didn't have their backs were against the wall? They had nothing left to give or nothing left to take. I've said, and at the end of the day, it's our bodies. I've said, how can we affect change when you hit their pockets? What you say, you say hit the NCAA, you say hit stores. I say, no, it needs to be more concentrated than that. And I think it was proven to me last week with Bruce Pearl at Auburn. That you can get on, that you, a Jewish white man, it doesn't matter what your religion, I'm just calling it for what it is, can get on there and start talking about President Obama being the greatest divider. And you make your money off African-American bodies, all your riches. And we don't send you a message and every Black athlete at Auburn should transfer until they fire his ass. You are sending a message that you won't do shit about people who dog you. You won't do a goddamn thing. Because this man is insulting people to our face, He's insulting us from a state that started this voter oppression thing in 2014.
But you're talking about, this is one thing. Listen to this. Listen to this.
No,
You're talking about, hold on.
I want to finish. I don't want to hold on. I want to finish. I want to finish my point. Then I'm going to let you tell you. You asked me to finish. Now I'm giving it to you. You asked me what I think we can do, because it all ties in if you listen. It all ties in. It all ties in about what can't we do. If you don't want to get out in the streets, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you saying, hey, man, I don't think that'll work. But what we can do is not keep giving them. We can keep funding our own oppression. And we can do it in a real big way. So every time somebody like Bruce Pearl gets out and says what he says, then what you say is, I'll tell you what, since that's how you feel, and your president of your university hasn't told you to shut the fuck up, I'm not sending any black athletes to Auburn, because every black athlete that stays on Auburn's basketball team and football team can get full scholarships to any other Division I school in the country. There's not a school in the country that won't take those athletes. But if you don't send him a message and you let him keep talking reckless, one of the things I tell people is nothing is more powerful than the medium of pictures. The medium of pictures is the most powerful thing you can see. And like Marion said, they need to feel the pain. So how do I make them feel the pain? If I'm not going to put bodies on the street, which I say, okay, Kenneth, let's do it that way, then I'm going to take bodies from their institutions. I have to go and talk to these 5-star athletes and their parents and say, hey, do not send your kids to states that will oppress their rights when they aren't on the gridiron or the basketball court. And you have to send that message strongly, fiercely, without no hesitation. If your state makes the decision to do this to my community, we won't help you make money. We won't help you raise your profile. If Ron DeSantis wants to keep doing that and nobody in the state legislature wants it, okay, well, I'm not sending no more black athletes to the University of Florida. I'm not sending any more black athletes to the University of Miami. I'm not sending any more black athletes to South Florida or FSU. You think if they want to send us back to the dark ages, let's send them back to the dark ages of sports. And here's the kicker. If you stop sending black athletes to these Division I schools, all of the white athletes are going to follow those black athletes. Because like I know, when you're an athlete, you want to know you're competing against the best. And if you are Arch Manning, you're not going to Texas and he's going to send you to not mediocre, because they're probably good. I don't want to do that to kids. I hate it of any race. I can't get the best wide receivers or the best running backs to come here because my coach won't shut the fuck up. I'm not staying here. I'm not staying here. I'm going to where they went. If they went to UCLA, I'm going to UCLA. If they went to New Mexico State, I'm going to New Mexico State. It's not a top flight white athlete that will stay at any of those schools. Not one. Not a one. And until you start hitting them and letting people like Bruce Pearl know, hey, man, and I say this the way I say it, I'm not going to be civil. Shut the fuck up. Because we can touch you. We can touch you, Bruce. We don't have to touch you violently. We don't have to use violence. We can touch you where it counts the most. Any goddamn black athlete from JUCO or wherever goes to Auburn, we will ostracize you out of the community. We will not be welcome if you're going to break that line. We will do you like truckers do you. When truckers go on strike and you break that line, them truckers come after the trucker. They don't go after the person that hired that trucker. They go after that trucker and say, you will not break this line. And all those coaches will get the message. Dabo will get it. Kirby will get it. Whatcom of Tennessee will get it. Whatcom University of Alabama will get it. Steve Sarkisian will get it. The boosters will get it. Hey, man, them brothers ain't goddamn playing. They ain't sending their kids here. But you got to stop being selfish. You can send all your kids to purple states. If Pritzker is supporting us, my kid's going to Illinois. Dad, I don't give a damn where you're going. You going to Illinois. You ain't playing for him. You ain't playing for him. Let him have a vanilla white team because he ain't going to have one because them athletes ain't going to want to play for him either because they can't compete against the best. And at some point, we got to have the will. At some point, we got to stop letting people dictate us what's quote-unquote black nationalism as opposed to, no, this is just fair. If you want to damn voice your opinion as Bruce Pearl, and you got every right to. And I got every right to tell every black athlete that was considering Auburn and that's at Auburn, going to the transfer portal. Do not play for that man. Don't play for his son. I'm not creating another goddamn Tommy Tuberville. How dumb can you get? Fuck Derek Dooley. You want to run for Senate in Georgia after you done made all your money off us? Stop. That's on us. Let's stop blaming other people. We got to have the will to say enough is enough. There's no violence involved. We haven't picked up a gun. We voted with our feet and our bodies. You want to keep singing that Texas racist ass song at the games? Have at it. I saw a kid they talking about at Mississippi. Really supposed to be good. I'm going, a black kid playing quarterback in Mississippi, what does that do for us? As long as they treating black people the way they treat them in Mississippi. Why would your parents let you go to Mississippi? Why didn't they step in and go, I hear what you're saying, bro. But it's a whole bunch of other coaches that don't work and play in Mississippi. And they're oppressive stuff towards our community. And when you start showing them that, you're going to show them that you're going to protect your community, including black women. You have to do something. If we don't want to get out in the streets, I'll give you that. No problem. I get it. This thing of giving people black bodies to make billions and billions and billions of dollars, that shit has to come to an end. Quick. And that's why they're trying to change NIL right now. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Finally get a chance to say something. So I agree with you. That's a hell of a strategy. The only problem is it's a hell of a strategy in theory. In practice, it's not going to work. Mainly because one of NIL, that's part of the problem right there. Now, not to say that they go to these other schools, they can't get NIL money, but a lot of these kids who, let's face it, they come from underprivileged backgrounds. They're trying to go somewhere, one, where they can get money, and two, where they get exposure. Excuse me. So I agree with you. That would be a hell of a boycott. A hell of a boycott. But in practice, it's going to be damn near impossible because you have kids, like I said, who come from underprivileged backgrounds, who work their butt off and all of that. And all of them can't go to Illinois. All of them can't go to UCLA. There's only a certain amount of slots at these schools. There's only a certain amount of slots at these schools. So all of them can't go. So where are they going to go? Trickle down. Let me say it. They're going to trickle down to Division II schools. Now, the Division II players who weren't good enough to be Division I are going to trickle down to Division III schools, so on and so forth. So there's going to be a trickle down effect. In the very end, there's going to be some athletes who was been at that Division III school, who would have got a scholarship and got an education, may or may not have had aspirations to go pro, but at least he gets a free college education, help his family come out of poverty, so on and so forth. Where are they going to go? So it's the reason why I say that. Like I said, I agree with you. In theory, it's a hell of a damn strategy. Practice is hard because you in the end, not only do that ass white Bruce Pearl lose, but you're going to have some other athletes down the line who may have gotten a scholarship to somewhere. They're not going to get a scholarship. which helps bring their family out of poverty. And we all know that maybe 10% of athletes, college athletes, go pro, maybe 10% out of all these programs. So
I was gonna say what Mike just said, because let me say this, because I don't want you to get off the point. Kenneth, there's 72 slots on every major college football team. 72 slots. There are, I don't even want to sit here and go into how many numbers of schools are in the country from Division I to Division II. And I'm going to use one of Mike's classmates and somebody that went to Glen Hills under me to say, you can go to a Division I AA division school to make it to the pros. Mike Curry made it to the pros.
I didn't say you can't do it. I never said that.
Let me finish. I think you hear me out. There are enough. The reason people want to go to the SEC schools is because they think SECs get exposure. The reason that SEC schools get the exposure that they get are because of African American athletes, and we might as well not sugarcoat it. They know it. We just act like we don't know it. There are plenty of colleges in California that are Division I that will be glad to give out scholarships to any of those athletes, any of them. There are plenty of colleges in the Northeast that will give Syracuse, Harvard, that will love to have those athletes. Virginia, University of Virginia, Virginia Tech, Michigan, Illinois, Penn State. But if you don't stop saying, and not you, I don't mean you, if we don't stop saying that they'll have nowhere to go, there are Division II schools that will get scholarships. The trickle down effect.
I didn't say, hold on. I said I was talking about the trickle down effect of it. That's what I was talking about.
Then I'll ask Mike.
The students that would have been at Division III, who would have been at Division III, I think Division III is like the lowest level, right?
Hey, Mike, I'll send you an invitation. Send me your email. I'll send you an invitation right now. You can come on right now. I can send you an invitation right now. If you want to talk, you can come on right now. I can send you an invitation. Just text me your email address.
We ain't going to spend the whole time talking about this because I got something I need to talk about.
Oh, we're going to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. But what we talk about, what we're talking about right now, to me, the existential threat to the Black community is this. We have not made them pay for the actions that they are provoking across the country in a way that will reverse them doing what they're doing. I'm going to tell you right now. If every Black player for the University of Tennessee said, I'm hitting the transfer report because you have made my life about politics once I step off this gridiron, Governor Lee would have a legislation the next day. Send it to you right now, Mike. The next day, he will have get in legislature and go, we can't have that. We cannot have that. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. Y'all got to shut the hell up. We can't do it. And
now I agree with Harriet said something, and I think it was Marion too, talked about why, in the case of Charles Barkley, why isn't Charles Barkley saying something? Now, he's Mr. Auburn. He's Mr. Auburn. He's always repping Auburn, but he hadn't said a word about this. It's not like they're going whoever he's going to be working, who's going to be working for ESPN next year or something like that. Not like they're going to fire him over this by calling out Bruce Pearl. He has a following, he has a voice, but he hasn't used his voice. And I think that right there would have a serious effect on what Auburn did. If he spoke out and said something, he shouldn't be silent about this stuff. He had, I don't know, does he still have that show with Gayle King?
That's a good question. I never watched it, so I couldn't tell you.
I've never watched it either, but that's a platform. If he doesn't want to do it on ESPN, use that platform to say something. Bring Bruce Pearl on there and call him out on that shit. Because Bruce Pearl is doing shit on his podcast, and he said what the hell he want to say. He's doing it on his podcast. So let him come on. Let somebody challenge him. Shit, we can go on there and challenge him. Anybody know Bruce Pearl? We'll send him a fucking invitation to have his punk ass come over here. He won't talk to no real people. That's what I mean. That's how I feel about the situation. It's like I said, what you're saying, I agree with you 100%. If we did that, the effect it would have. It's just going to be hard to do. Because these young people who come, I'm not going to say they come from nothing, but, come from underprivileged background and, they have an opportunity to make some money while they're in college. When we went to college, there was no such thing as, there was no NIL money, none of that. Colleges could exploit your name, your jersey number sell your jersey number with your name on it, pictures of you, all kinds of stuff. Had you doing all kinds of things that they made money off of, and you didn't get a dime. As they said, all you got was a college education. I'll give you a perfect good example. My son is in, those of you who know, he's at Tuskegee. And he's, one of the things he does is, I forgot what they call him. I know he's an orientation guy, but there's also something else he does. But he's in a lot of Tuskegee pictures. A lot of pictures with Tuskegee. I've seen at least 5 or 6 pictures that they put on their advertisement with his face on it. Him and other students. He and other students. And I made the comment, I was like, he's in so many pictures, he should be getting some NIL money. He should be getting that. I said it jokingly, but if they offer their money for it, hell yeah. We'll take the money. And it's not like I can't afford to pay what I'm paying for my son's education. You have these kids who have nobody. Nobody can pay for their education. And they're getting an education and they're getting money on top of that. Getting $1 million contract. And at 18, 19 years old, $1 million is a lot of money. Hell, $1 million is a lot of money at a 59-year-old. Even an old man like you, Leonard. Somebody gave you $1 million just for you to use your face. Hell yeah, you would take it.
But that's not
the issue. And it also benefits their families. So we're asking these top athletes, huh?
Nobody's arguing that. Nobody's arguing.
But see, that's the point I'm trying to make. Trying to get them to walk away from this is
I didn't
hard.
I said walk away from that particular institution.
Right, but what the point I'm trying to make is there's only so many slots in these other schools.
Stop a minute. NIL money follows athletes. NIL money doesn't follow schools. NIL money follows athletes. If the proof in the pudding is the top ranked player for the top ranked player for basketball just signed a $5 million deal to Brigham Young. Brigham Young. And I'm thinking, if my son walked to me and said, Dad, I'm going to Brigham Young for $5 million, I'll be like, you ain't going no goddamn where. You're going to take your ass over there to goddamn New Mexico State. They offer you 3. I ain't got to, the likelihood of you getting your ass pulled over when you outside that basketball court and getting your ass kicked is less. Or I'm sending you to California where I know there's a governor that's more sympathetic to who and what you are and what you look like. And you're not going to hurt the community. Bruce Pearl publicly expressed, when did he do that? See, this is where Kenny and Shaq get on my nerves. And I respect the hell out of Shaq. Charles, shut the fuck up. You live in a state that has bit by bit tore down the 1964 Civil Rights Act and has been the leader of the vanguard leader. Huh?
He don't live in Alabama.
He's from Dothan.
Yeah, he's from there, but he don't live there. I understand, but you say he lives there. He don't live there anymore.
Okay, let's take live out of it. He's from Dothan.
Right.
And you got this knucklehead saying the stuff that he's saying. Dude, deal with your state legislators. Talk about what they're doing to the black citizens in Dothan. Talk about how you're taking away their right to vote in Dothan, Charles. You from Dothan. I don't care if you live in LA or Atlanta. You from Dothan. And when Bruce Pearl comes out and says something, tell him, man, shut up.
But you Marion's dead. He supports him. That says a lot about who Charles Barkley is.
That says a lot about who we are, that we hadn't said, hey, man, told CNN, hey, man, he's funny. We get he's funny. He's jokey. Mike, I sent you that invitation. Come on the show before we go off. You funny, you jokey, but some of the stuff you say with your platform is dangerous to our community that you come from. Some of the stuff that you say should not be said in our community, about our community. Some things that should not be said. You cannot align yourself with Bruce Pearl. You can't align yourself with Tommy Tuberville. And if you do, you're going to pay a price from our neighborhood. You're going to pay a price.
I mean, really and truly, I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't know anybody that's black that like real Charles Barkley supporter. It's the white people that like him. The rest of us like, okay, whatever.
Charles Barkley gave $1 million to Morehouse. He don't just sit around and talk. Charles Barkley gives money away. But your money can have a, what am I trying to say?
Your voice would have more of an effect than your money would.
Yes. Thank you.
No.
And go ahead.
I really need to talk about something. This is 11:50.
Okay, go ahead. Pull it up. Go ahead.
So, this is something that's real personal. It's personal because this hit close to home, literally and figuratively. In case y'all didn't know, the last Sunday around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that, there was a shooting on Meadowbrook and Deansbridge Road. Now, one young man got killed. 3 brothers got shot. One was, last time I heard, he was in critical condition. I'm not sure what his status is now, but I haven't heard anything else about it because they hadn't really talked about it since then. One of those students, the one that got killed, was supposed to be starting at Glen Hills, my high school I teach at. Supposed to be starting there that year as a freshman. School started on Tuesday. So he got killed 2 days before he was supposed to start his 9th grade year. Another one, I found out about 3 days ago that he was one of the ones that got shot. He was supposed to be in my class. He was supposed to be my student. And when I say this hits home literally, figuratively, and literally, Meadowbrook and Deansbridge, that's my neighborhood. That's literally where I live now. That's not where I used to live. That's where I live now. And the young men that got shot, they were, the term water boys on the corner selling. See them all the time. Now, I may have even seen these particular young men, maybe even that day, because I had been out earlier during the day, I had gone to church. So I can't remember if they were out there then, but they might have been out there then. I didn't think anything of it. My mentee, he was at that store where they got shot, and he left 5 minutes before the shooting happened. Y'all, we've got to, and Leonard, I understand you talking about the big long-term picture, but we have people in our community that are killing each other over some of the stupidest things. And there's nothing new about that. There's nothing new about that at all. But why? And I thought about, Leonard, something you said last week. I think it was last week, when you talked about how the young men in your that go to the basketball court, how you have conversations with now, they feel comfortable talking to you and all that stuff. I thought about that. And, the first day of school on Tuesday, I had my 6 classes and all that. Well, 5 classes. Yeah, 5 classes. and my 5 classes and all that stuff. And we doing, I'm talking to them. I'm getting to know the students and introducing myself to them. But I brought this situation up. And man, I was almost in tears talking to them, dude. Because I'm trying to figure out why. What will it take for y'all to understand that how precious life is? And I told them, I said, these young men, one got killed. His family will forever be affected by that. And I listen, in my own family, I have felt that pain. I've had family members. One who was a family member, one who was a close family member. He was, well, not a family member. He was just, his family and my family been close for decades. Decades they've been close. He got shot on his porch, and I heard the shot. As a toddler, I remember this. This happened when I was about 3 years old. I remember that. So this young man's family is going to have to deal with this for the rest of their lives. The other 3 that got shot, they're brothers. 2 of them weren't serious. 1 of them was serious. If that young man survives, and I hope he does, what condition is he going to be in? How is his family going? His family's going to have to take care of him. That's a long-term issue. Because he may be confined to a wheelchair. He may have other issues for the rest of his life. We're worried about, and we're worried about all these things that happen on the other side of the world and all of this and that, but we're not dealing with the problem here. We're not dealing with the issue here with our young people. Let's say this. Each one of us has to do our part. We can't sit idly by in our 3,000 square foot home, on our patio and do nothing. We can't do that anymore. Because what if somebody who had nothing to do with this was just standing out there? Like my mentee. He's going to college on Wednesday. Tuesday. Has a bright future. Full ride, Marine scholarship. If he had been there when the shooting happened and he got caught up in that, it could have messed him up forever. Wouldn't have had anything to do with that situation. Wouldn't have been the person that they were actually trying to kill. But he would have been affected. And the young man who shot him, everybody involved with the shooting, is going to do life in prison. No chance for parole. No chance. And if you do get parole, by the time you get out, you'll be close to your 60s. Your whole life wasted, sitting behind bars. We've got to take ownership of our community. We've got to. Fellas, and even ladies. I'm telling you, I grew up in a single parent household. But Carol Lively wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. If I grew up in this era and still had the same mother, there's no way in hell I'd be involved in any of this shit. So ladies, just because there's no man in your life, it does not mean you can't control your children, your son. You just let him go and let the world deal with him. You don't do that. Your grandkids. You got to. We cannot wait. Young men, young ladies in your neighborhood. Don't just ride by them and clutch your purse or make sure you got your hand on your wallet so they won't rob you or anything like that. Say something to them. When you see them doing something wrong, hey, come on, y'all. Talk to them. Get to know them on a personal level. You never know how much you can change their life. But we got to do it, y'all. We can't sit idly by and let just let this happen to our community. This neighborhood, like I said, I grew up here. Moved back into the house I grew up in. And I look at the neighborhood and I'm like, damn, this neighborhood has changed. It has changed, and not for the better. So what I'm trying to do in my little small part is, I'm a teacher, so that's what I talk about. I don't just teach my students about U.S. history. I teach them how U.S. history affects them now. I talk about stuff that has nothing to do with school. Because as I said this before, I don't need them to just to pass my class. I need them to be productive members of society. And that's what y'all should be doing too. Find one person. You ain't got to do a whole bunch, just one, and make a difference in that one person's life. And encourage them to pay it forward. My students, one of the things that I tell them, they can't say the N-word in my class. And then I'm adamant about that. I call them out in a heartbeat about it in the classroom. If they're walking past me in the hall and their friends want to say that word, they will tell their friends, hey man, don't sit around Mr. Lively. He don't like that word. It's something just that simple, y'all. It's really that simple. We can't sit back and let this happen anymore. We can't send thoughts and prayers and think that things are going to change. Because if you think that thoughts and prayers are enough, then you're not following not following God's word. Because actions follow thoughts and prayers. What's your action? Create something. One thing that I talked to my principal the other day, and I said, listen, hey, that hit home. You know that. 2 of our students. We have to start a men's mentoring program. We got to do it. We cannot do this. We just can't limit our stuff to what we have to teach in class. We got to create a program. And she agreed. And that's what we're doing. I didn't want to lead it, but I guess I'm going to have to. Do something, y'all. Seriously. Please. Please. I'm begging you. Take somebody under your wing. If your children are straight, bring along some of their friends. That's what you need to do. Your grandchildren are straight, bring along some of their friends. And don't think just because you live in a middle-class neighborhood and your children's friends or grandchildren's friends are middle class and they live in middle-class neighborhoods that they aren't following this ignorant move too. They are. They are. Because the culture does not stop when the hood stops. It's too pervasive in our community. Too pervasive. And as I said, y'all, this hit home literally and figuratively and literally for me. So, y'all do something, man. Do something. Do something. Talk to them. Teach them about the world. One thing I tell my students is this. Because you're Black, the world hates you. America hates you. The love for you the love that they have for you is very limited to what you can do for them. It's transactional. So that you got to be prepared for everything. You got to be ready for everything, not just one thing. And don't think because you're a great athlete that they're gonna get rid. They're not gonna try to do you in. Look at O.J. Simpson. They loved O.J. Now I'm not saying O.J. committed those murders or not, I'm not saying it is. I have my doubts about it, but I'm not saying he did or didn't. What I'm saying is when things can't when that stuff, that incident happened, that those murders happened, they went after him full force. They went after him full force. And they loved him. So I need y'all to do something for me. I just need y'all to do that for me. Please. Take somebody. Help somebody. Because you never know if that one person that you help, how much that can change their life and what it can do for the community. And I don't know, Mary. I don't know that percentage.
Listen, Kenneth. I got to be able to stop the gun violence thing that's going on right now.
Oh yeah, I got to go too.
And so I got to jump off to get over here before it ends because I promised them I would come. So look, everybody, I appreciate y'all chiming in. Mike, I'll send you an invitation for next week early to get you on the show so we can continue this conversation. If we don't come up with a strategy, this strategy we've had for the last 6 months is not working. I'll tell you that right now. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Y'all can say sitting out as help. Y'all can say they have rolled back your rights way further than you thought because you bowed your heads and said you weren't going to get involved in some way, shape, form, or fashion. The boycott hadn't stopped shit. That's just the damn fact. Target hadn't changed yet. Target hadn't come out. The only matter of fact, the way I see it, the only place you should be shopping right now probably is Costco, because Costco is the only one that's come out forcefully and said we're not changing our DEI. We're not changing our DEI policies. We're not. If people want a diverse workforce, we got a great workforce. Matter of fact, we're gonna lean into it. This is not working. Y'all can't show me any evidence it's working. Y'all, I don't want to go on no what's the word I'm looking, anecdotal evidence that it's working. It ain't fucking working. We done tried it for 6 months. We're going into 9. And all they doing is pushing back and making more people more power. So we better try something. If the only way we could do it is to shut down the industry, the only industry we can control with sports, I don't know how we're going to convince them people to do it. Probably not. Or we could just bend over and take it. That's just the way it is. Marion wanted to talk about the people running for the governor, 3 black people. I can't see it going. I can't see them winning the race, but we'll talk about that next week. But I got to go. I appreciate y'all coming on today. Kenneth, I'll talk to you later this week so we could probably have an extended show to talk about some of the stuff people want to talk about. Mike, I'd love to have you on the show next week to talk about just this. But again, I'm no longer willing to just talk. You know, action is the only thing. I just need to be effective. So anyway, peace to everybody. I'll see y'all next week. Kenneth, I'll talk to you later on this week.
All right. Deuces, y'all. All right. Be safe.